Cooper Turley, the early crypto investor millionaire. The stock market has given investors good reason to grin this past year, but none are smiling wider than the holders of cryptocurrencies. The combined value of all digital coins is north of $1 trillion, up fourfold from $250 billion in January 2020. Given the surge, Forbes set out to calculate the fortunes of the crypto's wealthiest investors and entrepreneurs, counting not just the value of their digital money, but also their stakes in related businesses and traditional assets.
Hey guys, welcome back to our channel, The Crypto King. Here you will get the latest cryptocurrency news, all investing information in crypto, and how to earn money from crypto. If you are new here, please like and subscribe to get everything you need to know about cryptocurrencies. Don't forget to click the bell icons so you get notified every time we upload a new video. So, let's get started.
Meet crypto investor Cooper Turley, who made fortune after investing in crypto coins early. The following story should serve as motivation to many investors out there who are still hesitant about investing in cryptocurrencies. Cooper Turley first started investing in cryptocurrency 4 years ago. Bitcoin, currently the largest crypto by market value, was trading at over $2,000 at the time according to CoinMarketCap. Ether, which is powered by Ethereum blockchain and is the second largest crypto by market value, was trading at a few $100s. Turley bought both. Now Turley tells CNBC Make It, those early investments have made him a millionaire, growing to be worth 7 figures with 90% of that generated in the last 2 years. I definitely don't feel like I've made it by any stretch. There are far more people who are better off than me in crypto. But I do feel really thankful, says Turley, who's 25 years old. At that point, I was still in college, working some ad hoc jobs. I was just putting a couple of $100s in here and there. How it all began. Turley says he first invested in Ethereum while studying music business at the University of Colorado, Denver in 2017. He learned that the Ethereum blockchain has the potential to change the music industry and help artists take more control over their own music. For instance, smart contracts on the blockchain could do things like expediting royalty payments directly to creators. From there, I fell down this rabbit hole of being fascinated by how the technology works and how I could make a name for myself and become an expert on the industry as a whole, he says. Once Turley graduated in 2018, he got more serious about his cryptocurrency portfolio, even though both Bitcoin and Ether had recently plunged in value. The crypto crash. In 2017, I saw my net worth basically come crashing down, he says. It was during the midst of 2 to 3 years when everyone kind of wrote it off that I was really heavily investing, putting basically all of my income just into Ether when it cost around $100. Of course, this was a very risky move. Even today, experts warn to only invest money into crypto that you can afford to lose. Cryptocurrencies are volatile, speculative investments. But Turley stuck with it. For me in 2018, I saw this turning point where Ethereum was a shift away from speculation to actually building usable products, he says. By this, Turley is referring to the capabilities of the Ethereum blockchain, as it is used to power the creation of different decentralized applications like DeFi or decentralized finance, and assets like NFTs or non-fungible tokens. Turley dives into DeFi. Turley felt he had done enough research to understand what he was getting into, he says. I'm entirely self-taught. I started interacting with the Ethereum network a lot more, Turley says. I became fascinated with learning who the key players were and staying up on the latest trends. One of those trends was DeFi. DeFi apps aim to recreate traditional finance systems with cryptocurrency. Through DeFi lending, for instance, users can loan out cryptocurrency as a traditional bank does with fiat currency and earn interest as a lender. Except with DeFi, it's still very risky. Still, Turley says he lent his Ether and other digital coins and began to collect interest. Turley even made an even riskier play, borrowing coins himself, so that he could lend even more. All of this is known as yield farming, and it's extremely complex and risky. For one, there's not much protection if someone defaults on your loan. In DeFi, loan borrowers provide collateral with other crypto assets, as the process is nearly anonymous. However, unlike with a traditional bank, borrowers using DeFi apps can't be held accountable otherwise if unable to effectively pay back a loan. Indeed, there are many risks associated with DeFi, including its lack of regulation and user protections. Between January and April, for example, $156 million was stolen from DeFi-related hacks, according to CipherTrace. The old crypto saying, "Don't put in more than you can afford to lose," goes double for DeFi, according to CoinDesk. This stuff is uber complex and a lot can go wrong. Turley's successful months and year. In 2020, Turley experienced largely the most profitable few months of my career, he says, which was during what's known as DeFi summer. At the time, there was a surge of technology being created within the space, and investor interest with billions of dollars locked in DeFi applications. Since then, Turley has continued to invest and generate returns from DeFi, he says, while also working a number of jobs within the crypto space. It's a running joke at this point that I have an infinite number of jobs in crypto, Turley says. I just work on too many things. Now, Turley lives in Los Angeles and works in crypto strategy with Ethereum-based streaming app, Audius. He is also an angel investor in the space, he says, and acts as an advisor for Variant Fund, a crypto venture firm. I've contributed to 50-plus crypto projects, he says, and I'm an investor in roughly 20 crypto projects. Turley sends 6 figures to his mother. With his success, Turley's parents felt compelled to buy cryptocurrency too, he says. They only put in a couple of $1,000s, but it's just cool watching them see how passionate I was about the space, and it was really gratifying to see them have a little bit of skin in the game. As Ether increased in value in recent months, Turley says he swapped some of his stake for USDC, which is a stablecoin, or a cryptocurrency pegged to $1, and sent 6 figures to his mom for Mother's Day. Turley says his parents paid off the majority of their mortgage for their house in Devon, Pennsylvania with the funds. Turley also says he used at least 5 figures from his crypto gains to pay off most of his student loan debt. Financial freedom is not the end state. It's just the beginning of being able to do really cool stuff in the world, he says. Mr. Turley is not alone in this joyous ride. There are now as many as 100,000 people who have $1 million or more stashed in Bitcoin, according to cryptocurrency data firm BitInfoCharts. That's up from just 25,000 Bitcoin millionaires 3 months ago. A year ago, there were about 15,000 millionaire Bitcoin accounts. However, exactly how many people have more than $1 million in Bitcoin is hard to say. How many Bitcoin accounts exist and how much is in each account is public data. Who own those accounts, though, is not. Multiple accounts can be held by the same person, or one account can be held by more than one person. Though Turley is bullish on the future of crypto, it's important to note that experts warn people be cautious when investing in cryptocurrency. It's volatile, and it's possible to lose your entire investment.
That's all for today. If you have any question regarding crypto, do not hesitate to reach out to us in the comments section. To continue enjoying more of our crypto videos, kindly subscribe to our channel. Do us a favor by liking, commenting, and sharing our content with friends or across social media channels.